Hello and welcome to our video. My name is John Watts. I'm a consumer protection lawyer in Alabama, and I want to talk to you quickly about 5 things to keep in mind when you're settling any type of debt collection case. It could be an original creditor or it could be a debt buyer that's suing you. So number 1 is make sure it's in writing. You want to make all the terms of the settlement that are important to you be in writing. So we don't want just a phone conversation where you remember the phone conversation as you pay $2,000 and the other side says, no, you agreed to make 2 payments of $2,000. You want it in writing so it's very clear. Number 2, what happens as far as a 1099? Now I can tell you that if nothing is said about a 1099, then you should presume that you're getting a 1099 for any type of debt settlement, at least that's over about $600. And it's unusual, but there are situations where it's appropriate where you can get the other side to agree that they will not issue a 1099. That's beyond the scope of this video. We'll talk about that in other videos. But you just want to know what's the situation. And again, if nothing is said about it, that means they're going to issue you a 1099. At least you need to assume that. So number 3, what about credit reporting? Well, again, if nothing is said, then you can assume that it's going to continue to be on your credit report, whether this is Capital One or Midland Funding or Portfolio or whoever it is. Now, if it stays on your credit report after you've settled, after you've paid everything, then that should be a 0 balance. But sometimes they don't do that. And again, we have other videos about that. So you just want to know. Now, if your belief is that this is going to be deleted from your credit report, well, that's got to be in writing. You can't just assume that or say, well, they told me in a phone conversation it would be deleted. You really need to make sure that that's in writing. So the whole thing is in writing. What about 1099? What about credit reporting? Number 4 is you want it dismissed with prejudice. So you want the lawsuit dismissed. And in Alabama, and most states, but I'm just talking about Alabama here, it's either dismissed with or without prejudice. Without prejudice means they can sue you again. Well, you don't want that. You want it with prejudice. It means it's over, it's final, it's done. And so the final thing is, and really you do this after the settlement, is you just want to make sure that they did those 4 things that we talked about earlier. So is it in writing? Well, you'll know that. What about 1099? If they promise not to issue a 1099, then you need to see come next January or February, whenever it is, do you get a 1099 from them? What about credit reporting? If they promise to delete the credit reporting, did they actually delete it? If nothing's said about credit reporting, then maybe 30, 60 days after you make the final payment, then you want to check your credit report and make sure it shows a 0 balance. If it doesn't, then you may want to sue the debt collector or you may want to dispute it through the credit bureau. And then finally, you want to make sure it actually was dismissed with prejudice. And sometimes they say, okay, we'll handle that, and then it doesn't get dismissed. Or we'll handle that, but it gets dismissed without prejudice. So you just want to make sure that those items that we've talked about, really 4 items, that's in writing. What about 1099? What about credit reporting? Dismissed with prejudice. Well, the 5th item is make sure all 4 of these have been done and done correctly. So I hope that this is helpful to you. If you're in Alabama and maybe you're thinking about settling a case, or maybe you've already settled it, but you have questions now about 1099 or about credit reporting or how the case was dismissed, or maybe it wasn't dismissed, feel free to give us a call, 205-879-2447, or you can reach us at alabamaconsumer.com. Thanks for watching this video and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.